Hi, hello, and welcome to my channel. Why does my hair look so crazy? Hi, hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda, and today we are going to talk about the Covergirl Overthrown palette. This is a part of a collection. It's called the Her Majesty collection, and they also have 3 other palettes. So there's Reign, Ascension, and Revolution, and they are $15 each. And I think they're only sold at Walmart because I can't find them anywhere else online. So I picked up this one because the color story seemed the most interesting to me. I think Revolution will probably be the most popular for other people because it's sort of a warm tone kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, corally kind of color story. But I picked up this one. I'll show you the inside of it. It looks like this. They're pretty like dark grungy kind of smoky shades, and then it does have a mirror inside it here. And there's no unit carton or anything, they just had a little piece of tape right here that was keeping it closed. On the back we do have the shade names, and then the layout on the back here. And as you probably know, CoverGirl has recently gone cruelty free, so that's awesome. So on the inside there is only 3 matte shades. So this shade right here is Fallen, this is a matte shade, Taken, and then the black shade Conviction. And Taken is a really cool tone, sort of gray shade. And then we have some like shimmery shades. So the rest are shimmers except for we have this shade right here. Loveless is a kind of a pressed glitter, it's pretty soft. And then Legacy is kind of also a pressed glitter. I would think of that one as more of like an eyeshadow topper shade. So this is the look I kind of came up with. I was really torn on whether or not I wanted to pick this palette up, but I honestly have not tried any other eyeshadow palettes from CoverGirl, so I thought I'd give it a shot. And I had this look in mind. I wanted to create a really like dark, smoky eye, to kind of go with the theme of this palette. So I tried that first. And the gray shade Taken right here was just too muddy. The shades are just they're very pigmented and they're very easy to blend almost to a fault because they kind of just muddy up together, and I was just getting a muddy mess. That could be my talent as well, but I could not get what I wanted out of it. Also, this shade Wreckage here is supposed to be a nice sort of like plum winey purple. But when I applied it to the eye, it was just so dark, I couldn't get any of the reflect out of it. And that's kind of the theme I'm getting with this palette. So let me insert swatches really quick, and then we'll talk about the process of this look. Okay, so now you've seen the swatches. I'd say these shades kind of swatch better than they apply to an extent. Not all of them though. The first shade I used on my eye look was this shade Fallen here. It's sort of a soft neutrally pink, and I applied that all over the transition area, and it was beautiful. It blended out really nicely. You can build it up to get more of that pink intensity, not super pink, but like a nude pink intensity out of it. And so I really like that shade. But since those are they only have 3 matte shades, I just wish there was another matte shade that was sort of a mid-tone. They only have the 2 darker grungy tones, which I mean the other palettes probably do have mid-tone shades. But for the cohesiveness of this palette, it just made it pretty difficult. Next I went in with the shade Loveless here, and I placed that all over my lid. First I went in with my finger, I also went in with a brush. It applied pretty much the same. I got a little bit more of the sparkle out of using my finger, and then I also did go in with a wet brush as well, and there wasn't a lot of difference here. And what I sort of noticed when you swatch the shade, it's absolutely beautiful, but when I placed it on my eye, I didn't quite get the dimension and all of the reflectiveness that I saw on my finger. So what I did next is I went in with Conviction, and I placed that on the outer and inner corner of my eye just to give it some dimension. Now this is a good black, and I mean it depends on how you look at it. This black for me, it was good in a sense that it wasn't too overpowering, so it didn't take over the look. You can build it up to get a pretty intense black. However, when you do blend it out, just like with any black pretty much, almost every black I've used, they do get muddy really quickly. This one didn't quite have that gray undertone to it that sort of gets patchy. I don't know if you know what I mean, but I've had black shades where you try to deepen the shade and it's almost, the black shade's almost too black to where you can't use it to deepen a shade. It's just black, and that's all it's gonna be. And then after that, to kind of counteract that dimension I did there, I went in with the shade Legacy. This is a nice shimmery gold shade. In the pan it looked more white, but now looking at it in this light I do see a little bit more gold. This is actually pretty good. Again, there's just not a lot of dimension here. You just have the gold kind of specks. When I first tried it, I thought it was more of an eyeshadow topper. So like when you're placing it for like a brow bone highlight or something, there's not like a cast to it. There's not a base color. It's just the shimmery gold. And it did appear nicely on my eyes. And that was pretty much it for the look. I did apply Legacy to my brow bone, and it was pretty shimmery, but not quite the reflectiveness that I wanted, so I did go over it later, and I will talk to you guys about that when I talk about what's on the rest of my face. For the lower lash line, I kept it pretty simple. I just went in with Fallen first, that pink nude shade, smoked that out on the lower lash line, and then I wanted to incorporate some of that purple since this look kind of turned purple. So I took Wreckage, that purple shade. Oh, and I also took that on the upper lid, just kind of like behind where I put the that eyeshadow topper shade. I just wanted to see if I could get some purple out of it. And being that it was a shimmer, it didn't quite do what I wanted it to do, but it did give, when blended out into my transition shade, I do kind of have more of a purpley hue. So I smudged that along with my lash line, even though it's a shimmer, and I didn't get a whole lot of fallout, but it was kind of hard to kind of smudge and blend it out, but I mean, I think it ended up working. Overall, I'd say this look, it's not what I wanted, but it is wearable. I will wear it out. I have to wear it out today. I have to leave the house, so I will wear it out today. But I don't have quite the contrast of shades, the dimension that I wanted going into the look. As I started like blinking and kind of doing the rest of my makeup, I started to settle into the crease here. So it's kind of doing it again where it's getting pretty patchy. I use Tarte Shape Tape as my base, so I use that pretty regularly. And I don't have problems with every shadow doing that. I also did set it with that Fallen. I also did use Fallen, and I went in and set it after I applied the Tarte Shape Tape, and we're still kind of creasing in here and getting really patchy. I had to keep, as I was doing the rest of my makeup, I had to keep going in and like trying to blend it together. It's almost like they're making my eyelids oily, and they're kind of separating and clinging. Pretty much what I hoped from this palette is the swatches are beautiful and the colors are beautiful. I love this green here. The blue is really pretty, and this purple. Those are the shades I really wanted to work with. But as you can see, I mean, they look pretty, but once you apply them, I just felt like they kind of lost their oomph, especially this purple right here. The purple just kind of, I mean, you can see a little bit of reflection in the light, but once I applied it, it was just so dark, and it just muddied together with the rest of the shades. So when I do a look, I try to go for contrast. That way you can see a lot of the shades you're working with, and I just don't think there's enough contrast in this palette. They do look cohesive in the palette, but I just don't think they are once you apply them to the lid. So yeah, I don't think I have a lot of other things to say. As far as this palette goes, I think I will use it again. I really want to play with the green in here. Like I said before, I just need to pull from other palettes in order to use that, because there is no really transition shades that I want to create looks with. So I just was going to go ahead and tell you guys really quick what I used on the rest of my face. Today I actually sort of cleaned up my like space here because it's getting crazy. I tried to hang up a new backdrop. I wanted to do a cool red backdrop to do my nice smoky eye, and the backdrop, I should have known then that this is when this video wasn't going to turn out how I wanted. But the backdrop didn't work because I got a material that just couldn't get unwrinkled, you know what I mean? So that didn't work out, but I just had to kind of clean up this room, and I put everything away and made it a little bit more accessible. So I'm trying to pull into more things that I'm trying to use more of what I have is what I'm saying. So I didn't use my regulars. Also, my eyebrows, I don't know if you can really tell. I think they look pretty similar. I mean, maybe not the shape, but I did use two different products because I am working on a brow pen, what are they called? Yeah, just a a brow pen video is coming out soon, so I have 2 different brow products on. I have to I have to apply 2 more, and then that video will come up after this one. So, okay, what's on the rest of my face? I just went in with my L'Oreal, so I'll talk about the brows in the next video. I use my L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear, and I just use this one by itself actually today. I've been mixing it a lot lately, and I do like that, but I decided to use it on its own today. And then for concealer, I use my Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer. I'm in the shade 110 Nude Ivory. And I set everything with my pretty Vulgar powder. I tried this out like a couple times, and I didn't really like gather my thoughts on it before I switched to something else. So I wanted to kind of just see, like, get a real opinion of this, but basically. So I'm trying out the pretty Vulgar powder again. And then I did a video a month ago maybe, and I got like a giant haul from the drugstore, and I picked this up. This is the Neutrogena Chinky Wink, and this is in the shade First Crush, I believe. And it's a really like pretty, very naturally colored blush, so I used that today. And then I went over my brow bone highlight, my inner corner, and then the rest of my highlight is Ofra in Rodeo Drive. I got this not that long ago really, and I kind of forgot about it once I got my Flower Beauty palette, so I decided to pick this back up. I started with my Flower Beauty Luminous Heatwave Luminous Bronzer, and this is in Sunrise L1. I think this is supposed to be like lighter, or it's just light 1 I guess, but it pulled way too red on me, so I kind of went in with, this is M1. And this is just a little bit warmer, and I kind of went over with this, and this just kind of fit the undertone of my skin right now, which I'm not sure if that's how it's always going to be. I don't know. This just pulled way more red than I was expecting. What else did I use? So I was going to use my Flower Beauty mascara again to gather my thoughts on it a little bit more, but I couldn't find it. It's sitting right in front of me, but it was, I swear, it disappeared and came back onto my table. I don't know how it happened. But I just went in with my Milk Kush mascara. I love this one. I've been using it pretty much non-stop since I got it. I really do think it's helping with my lashes and I think it's helping my lashes grow actually. And yeah, I've just been loving this, and it kind of like fluffs them up. It's just, I've been loving this. I think I said it 10 times now. Use that. On my lips, I kind of did a little cocktail today. I went with Maybelline 535 Nude, and then I just went over the outsides of the corners with this is the e.l.f. Beautifully Bare Touch of Nude. And I don't know if it did a whole lot because it's so like moisturizing. I don't know if it really applied over the top. But this is a really hydrating lipstick. I got it for free in one of my e.l.f. packages, so if you get it, it's actually pretty good. And then I just went over the top of that with the e.l.f. Plumping Gloss. And this is in the shade Pink Cosmo. So I think that is pretty much it. That is the rest of this look. This is going to be a super quick video. I kind of want to do this with little things I see out in the store, like just pick them up, try them on, and then kind of show you the application while I talk about it. It makes the whole process a lot faster, hopefully not as boring. So let me know what you guys think of this video. Did you pick up any of these other palettes? Because the red one, I think it is, that has the sort of more summery shades, I stared at that one for a long time, but I wanted to challenge myself, and I think I overdid it. Because I just don't think I'm going to be able to use this palette very many times on its own, but I mean, looking at the pan, the shades are beautiful. I don't know, it just didn't come out how I wanted it to. So I think that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down below. I hope you have a beautiful day and be the reason someone smiles today.